Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all. So we are going to continue our lecture, which is chapter vector. Okay, so let's start now. Okay, so in vector, the things that you need to understand that how we want to resolve the vector. Okay, and then basically you can actually use the maths concept also, the sine rule and the cosine rule, okay, to find the resultant. Okay, and then you need to know how to draw, which means that we have two types of drawing, which is parallelogram method and another one is tail to tip method. Okay, so before we proceed with vector calculations, definitely you need to understand what does it mean by vector. Okay, vector means something that have magnitude and directions. Okay, however, when it comes to the scalar, it doesn't have any direction, but it have a magnitude. So scalar quantity like mass, distance, word also can be categorized as scalar. Other than that, we can call as a vector. Okay, so in front of you can see the picture where basically there's an arrow there. Okay, this arrow, the length of the arrow represent, yes, very good, it represent magnitude. And then the arrow also represent the directions of the vector. Okay, so and then you can easily identify whether is vector or scalar based on the symbol given. Okay, some books use bold. Okay, bold the physical quantity to represent the vector, or you can actually put v caps over there, or you can actually see that V with the arrow over there. So basically, these are the symbol of the vector. Okay. Okay. So when it comes to the vector, the things that you need to understand, vector have directions, which mean that you need to consider the positive and the negative. Okay, so this one is very simple. So the resultant of this one going to be 14 because of what? 8 plus 6, because both moving to the right direction. So mostly students are going to put positive to the right, right as a positive, left as a negative. Okay, so for this one, 8 minus 6 is because 8 is moving to the right, and after that is moving to the left with 6 kilometers. That's why you are going to get the resultant as a 2 kilometers. This one is pretty easy because both arrow is basically parallel to each other. How about if both arrow perpendicular? How to solve that problems? Okay, so I'm going to explain at the next slide. Okay, so when it comes to two arrow that basically perpendicular to each other, you cannot just add up like that. Okay, what you need to do is you need to use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, because y and s cannot be added up like that, means that you need to find the resultant, which this resultant can be found only if you use Pythagoras theorem. Okay, but before we find the resultant, definitely there are certain steps that you need to know. Okay, what are these steps? Okay, so basically in front of you can see there's a d2 which is in y component, and d1 as a at the x component, which is the horizontal one. So means that for you to find the resultant, it means that you need to find the hypotenuse. So basically what happened is, during your what you learned before in maths, a b c, a square plus b square, then you are going to get c square. Okay, so that's how you find the hypotenuse. Okay, but before we proceed with the calculations, the things you need to understand that we need to draw. Okay, mostly for your questions is going to be the situation questions. Okay, where you need to draw first for you to identify the sign before you proceed with the calculations. Okay, so we have two types, which is parallelogram method and another one is tail to tip method. Okay, tail to tip method is basically you connect all the points and then you draw the resultant from initial up until final. So example, if I give it to you, you have A here, and then you have B here, Okay, so the arrow above the A and B is not basically the directions of the vector. It just to represent the A and B is a vector quantity. And then you have C here. Okay, so example, if I ask you, please draw A plus B minus C. What does it mean by minus here? Minus here means opposite direction. Okay, which means that you need to, when you see the negative there, you need to make the arrow in the opposite directions. Okay, so let's draw for this part. Make sure that when you draw for the A plus B plus C, you need to make sure that you follow each step, which means that you are going to start with A. After that, you are going to draw B, and then after that, you're going to draw negative C. Okay. Okay, so A, like that. Make sure that you label. Okay, and then B, like that. Okay, and then C. Okay, because it's negative here, so the original is pointing downward, so means that it's going to pointing upward. Okay, so this diagram is not complete. You are not going to get full mark for that because of what? You didn't draw the resultant of it. Okay, so the resultant always be draw from the initial up until final. So you draw it like that with double arrow to represent resultant. So this is your resultant. Okay, what does it mean by resultant? Basically here you can see that A plus B plus C is basically distance. The shortest distance, basically a displacement, is represented by R. Okay, yeah. Or you can actually say that, okay, example, I give you another example. Okay, you have one person. Okay, example, that person is so popular. Okay, and this person being pulled by their fans, like in that directions, maybe in that direction, in that direction, oh my god, in that direction, 5,000 Newton with the angle of 40 degree. Okay, and then there's another fan pull in this direction, 2,000 Newton, and there's another fan pull in this direction, 500 Newton with the angle of 51 degree. So the final result, which direction that this person is going to be pulled. Okay, that's the reason why we need to find the resultant, which is the final direction and the final magnitude. Okay, I can give you something like that, a very simple example. Okay, so we need to find the final directions and the final magnitude and which direction this person is going to. Okay, in that directions, in that directions, in that directions, this one can be solved using calculation. Okay, so basically I have shown you the tail to tail method. What about parallelogram method? Okay, parallelogram method is basically a method that's very easy for you to do a calculation in compare with the tail to tail method. Okay, so parallelogram method, okay, everything start from 0. Everything start from the middle of the axis, which mean that, wait, okay, you have middle is basically a 0, so everything start from there. So example, if we have A, and then you have B, and then you have C. Okay, and the question asks you to find the resultant, where you need to draw first. So A minus B plus C. What does it mean by minus? Yes, very good. You need to reverse the directions. Okay, okay. So A going to be in that direction. So everything start from here. So you are going to draw it like that. Yeah, okay. Okay. And then B from here. Negative B. Okay, sorry. It should be negative, right? So it should be opposite to the original one. So it's going to be in that direction. Okay. Okay, parallelogram means that you need to start everything from the middle. And then C to be like that. Okay. So this is the easiest method when it comes to the calculation, because you can see that where the direction is going to be, okay, to the positive x, to the negative x, to the positive y, or to the negative y. Okay, that's why I'm encouraging my students to make sure that you draw first the parallelogram method before you start your calculations. If example question asks you to draw tail to tip method, you draw first the parallelogram, and after you get the final resultant, the directions and the magnitude, then you draw the tail to tip method. Okay, so when it comes to the parallelogram method, okay, you definitely, okay, this one is basically how to draw the parallelogram method. I already showed you how to do it. Okay, so the triangle rule is basically the tail to tip method. This is tail to tip method. Okay, for the easiest question, basically you can actually solve using the sine cosine rules, which I'm going to show you later, but it's not applicable for all the diagrams. But if you can solve it using that, then it's okay. Still, I'm actually accept your working steps. Okay, I know. Okay, so basically, okay, this one is the one that I already mentioned before. A plus B equal to C, B plus A equal to C. As you can see that both you are going to get different diagrams, but at the end you are going to get the same resultant, the same directions of resultant. But please make sure that when you draw the tail to tip method, make sure that you follow the steps one by one based on the questions given. Okay, so this is distributive rule, just to emphasize to you. The sum of two vector is multiplied by the positive scalar quantity, as then the resultant vector has the same direction but different in the magnitude. So means that you just expand the calculations there. Okay, this one is pretty easy. Okay, so this one is basically the one I mentioned before, how to find the resultant here. Okay, you already learned this in your SPM. Okay, this one. Okay, so this one is basically you use the law of cosine and sine for a triangle. Okay, you basically you actually use this method for you to find the magnitude, but for you to find the directions, I think you need to use another method. Okay, I'm okay if you want to use this method, but it's not applicable, like I mentioned before, it's not applicable for all the questions. If you feel that this one is pretty easy for you, then it's okay, just proceed. Okay, so we have example here. Encik Rahim push a load with a force of 10 Newton, okay, while Mr. Lim pulls the same load with a force of 12 Newton as shown. What is the resultant force? Okay, the question is pretty easy because basically two forces parallel, so you can just add up like that, and two forces in the same direction. So 10 plus 12, then you get 22 Newton. Okay, please take note, because Newton is force is vector, then you need to mention a direction, which means that it's moving toward the right direction. Okay, so this one is another example. A boat which can travel at a speed of 5 meters per second in still water is sailing upstream in a river where the flow of water is 2 meters per second. What is the resultant velocity of the boat? Okay, so this one is okay, you have 5 meters per second in that directions, and then you have 2 meters per second, which is in opposite direction. So this one you can just put it as a minus because it's moving in different direction. One is to the right, another one is to the left, then you are going to get 3 meters per second. Okay, and then you need to mention the directions, because you get positive here, it means that it's moving in the positive x direction. Okay, okay, this one, sorry, I already mentioned it before. Negative over there represent the opposite direction. Okay, so make sure that when you have a negative there, please make sure you change the directions of the arrow. Okay, so when it comes to the vector, the things that you need to understand is you need to know how to resolve the vector. Okay, so when it comes to the vector here, the first thing first, there's always one vector here which is going to be in between of y-axis and x-axis. So resolve means you need to separate that into two components, which is x component and y component. Okay, so example, if I put it here 10 degree with 500 Newton, you need to resolve that into two components, which is x component and y component. Okay, so before this you already learned that sine theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So here your opposite going to be your y component. Your opposite going to be your y component. Okay, so it's going to be sine theta y over hypotenuse is this one. Okay, I put it as example, I put it as f. Okay, f. So your y going to be f sine theta. So in these situations, it means that your f going to be 500 multiplied with the angle. Okay, then you are going to get the answer, which is in y component. Okay, okay. For x component, okay, for x component, okay, so you know that cos theta is basically adjacent over hypotenuse. So when you put it, cos theta is adjacent is going to be the s, hypotenuse going to be f. Okay, so when you put it, it's going to be what? S equals to f cos theta, which means that when I put the number there, it's going to be 500 cos 10 degree. Okay, then you put it inside the calculator. Make sure your calculator in degree mode. Okay, okay, so that's how you resolve. Okay, means that resolve means you separate that into two components, which is x component and y component. But what if the angle given is in this in this part? What going to be changed here? Yes, the things that will be changed here is going to be your x component and your y component. Okay, so when it comes to these situations where your angle basically touch y-axis, your angle here touch y-axis, what happened? Your sine, your adjacent and your opposite will be changed. Okay, so means that example, if I give it to you, angle touch y-axis, which is this one. Example, the angle is 70 degree. Okay, so what happened is your x component, because you already changed the adjacent and the hypotenuse, adjacent and opposite. Now your adjacent is y, your opposite is x. If example you use this angle. Okay, so your x component will be, yes, s equal to f, it's going to be s equals to f sine theta. Okay, because like I mentioned before, the adjacent and opposite already changed. That's the reason why you are going to get your s as f sine theta, and y you are going to get f cos theta. Okay, so be extra careful with the angle that you choose. Okay, whether your angle touch y-axis like this or your angle touch x-axis like this. Okay, I do encourage students, if you feel that you are easily do a careless mistake, make sure that you always find a angle touch y-axis, because you know that when it comes to x, is going to be cos like this, and when it comes to the sine, is going to be when it comes to the y, is going to be sine component. Okay, okay, got it? Okay, so make sure that you master this thing before we proceed with the calculations. Okay, okay, so this one I already show you how to resolve the components. Make sure that when you resolve, okay, the magnitude here always be in between of y and x. Okay, so when you draw for object like when you draw for something like this, okay, means that your y component will be, yes, good, in this one, downward and to the left. Okay, so make sure that before you start your calculation, please resolve the force first, okay? Because you want to see which direction for the x component, which direction for the y component, whether it's negative or positive, whether it's upward, downward, left or right. Okay, so basically this is the things that I already mentioned for before. You need to find the component first, okay, and then once you get the component, then you can find the resultant. But this one is basically easy because this one only involve one force. What if you have like 2 or 3 or more force? What you need to do? Okay, what you need to do? Okay, I give you the example. Okay, so example, if you have, okay, if you have as this, and then basically here I'm going to show you if you have 2 force and how to calculate the resultant one. Okay, you have this one, which is 500 Newton with the angle of 40 degree, and then you have this one 30 degree with 650 Newton. Okay, the question asks you to find the resultant. Okay, please take note, when the question state resultant, it means that you need to find the magnitude and direction. Okay, so let's start. Okay, first thing first, when you see the questions, the things that you need to do is you need to resolve. That's the first thing that you need to do. Okay, so you resolve all the component for each forces. So it means this one going to be upward to the right, this one going to be downward to the left. Okay, the reason that I ask you to resolve is because you can see clearly the directions of each forces for the x component and y component. Okay, so then you identify the angle. Okay, the angle touch x axis or y axis. Okay, please take note, when angle touch x axis like this, the x component will be cos theta, the y component will be sin theta. Okay, but when your angle touch y axis like this, is going to be your x will be sin theta and your y will be cos theta. Okay, but if you feel that you easily do a careless mistake, I encourage you to find the angle here, which means that it's going to be 60 degree. It's much easy, avoid careless mistake. But if you feel that you are confident enough, then you can actually proceed. Okay, so once you already resolve the components, you already identify the angle, the next thing is you need to you need to calculate for each x component and y component. Okay, so example for this one, okay, example I put it as a f1 here and I put it as a f2 here. Okay, so the f1 x component going to be the f1 cos theta, which means that it's going to be 500 cos 40 degree. Okay, make sure that you give your answer in 3 or 4 significant figure or 2 decimal place. Okay, so it's become 3383.0. Make sure that you don't forget the units here. Okay, and then you find the y. Okay, f1y is become f1 sine theta. Okay, so f1 is going to be the 500 sine what 40 degree. Okay, make sure that you're calculated in degree mode. Double check before you start your calculation. If not, all the calculations will be wrong. Okay, so you're going to get the 321.4. Okay, 321.4 Newton. Okay, so you already solved for the first one. Please solve for the second one. Okay, you solve for the second one, which means that you need to find the component for the f2. Okay, so it will be f2s is f2 sine theta. Okay, I'm going to use angle this one, which is angle touch y-axis. Okay, so means that your x will be sine, your y will be cos. Okay, so f2 is 650 sine 30 degree. Okay, so 650 sine 30, then you are going to get 325 Newton. Okay, and then find the f2y, which is f2 cos theta. It will be 650 cos 30 degree. So you are going to get 650 cos 30. This one will be 562.9. 562.9. 5, sorry, oh my god, it's moving. 562.9 Newton. Okay. Okay, but please, okay, before you proceed with the next one, you need to put the sign there. Okay. Okay, so basically what happened here is, okay, this one have a positive as this, so you can actually put plus, or you don't have to put it. Okay, this one is in positive y as is. Okay, this one correct, this one correct. However, for this one is moving downward, so means that you need to put the negative there. Yes. Okay, so be extra alert. Okay, and for this one is moving to the negative x direction, so you need to put the negative there. So you need to put it negative there. Okay, once you already put the sign, you double check first, you confirm that first, then you are going to move to the next steps, which means that you are going to grouping the x component with the x and y component with the y. Okay. Okay, so for you to grouping, okay, the components, okay, so x with x, y with y, so means that for the resultant in x, okay, so you only take x component, which is this one and this one. So basically the original formula going to be all will be plus, but if you have negative there, please put that negative. Okay, don't forget 383.0, and then you minus with 3 to 5. You find it first. Please do not forget the units. Okay, 383.0 minus 3 to 5. You're going to get 58 Newton. Okay, and then you group in the y component, which means that this one and this one. So 321.4 minus 562.9. You are going to get 321.4 minus 562.9. So you are going to get negative 241.5 Newton. Okay, once you're done with this, the question asks you to find the magnitude and direction. So for you to find the magnitude, you can actually use the concept of, like I mentioned before, Pythagoras theorem, where a square plus b square, you get the c square. Okay, so means that a square plus b square equals to c square. So you already have the x, you already have the y, so means that you just put it into the equations. Okay, the resultant always be positive because modulus, which means that you need to put it here, sum of r x square plus with the sum of r y square, like this one. Okay, you put it. Okay, please remember the magnitude always be in positive. Okay, so this one is 58 square plus minus 241.5 square. Okay, so you are going to get 58 square plus 241.5 square. So you are going to get here is 248.4 Newton. Okay, you already find the magnitude, and how about direction? Okay, for you to find the directions, you can use cos, sine, or tangent. But I prefer my students to use tangent because you already have the y component, you already have the x component. Okay, so means that here you already have y, you already have x, so you can use tangent, which is, so katwa tangent is opposite over adjacent. Your opposite is y, this is your opposite, and this is your adjacent. Definitely you are going to get the angle. Okay, so opposite is y, which means that y over x, ry over rx. So you are going to get here is negative 241.5 over 58. Please make sure that you don't put the negative in your calculator. Okay, just put the number inside the calculator. If not, it's going to give you a different answer. Okay, so there. Okay, so 241.5 divide by 58. Sorry, 2.555 divide by 58. So 2.5 divided by 58. Please do not put negative there. And then shiftan, you are going to get 76.5 degree. Okay, so but this one is not the final step. The final step is going to be drawing. Okay, because right now I already know the directions, which is 76.5, but which direction? Either it's north, south, west, or northeast or northwest. Okay, then definitely the final step is going to be drawing. So when it comes to drawing, the first thing that you need to see is the resultant here and resultant here. Okay, the resultant here and resultant here. Okay, because this one going to give you the directions for you to draw which direction for you to draw the resultant. Okay, so your RS, you get positive here, which means that it's going to be in that direction. Okay, and then your RY, you get negative here, so the resultant will be, yes, very good. So your resultant will be okay, resultant will be in these directions. Okay, so please put the angle here, which is 76.5, and then your magnitude is 248.4 Newton. Okay, so basically that is the steps that you need to do for you to get the complete marks. Okay, so basically this one, sorry, okay, this one is the first step, this one is the second step, this one is the third step, and the fourth one, fifth one, and this is the sixth, and the last one is this one. Okay, that's how you do it. Then you get a complete marks. Okay, make sure that your final answer will be drawing. Okay, the common mistake that I'm going to mention here is students tend to forget to put the negative here. Okay, that's why I ask you to resolve first, and then you double check the sign before you proceed with the next calculation. Okay, so example 3. So this question is pretty easy because you only have one force. Okay, so the question asks you to find, determine, and draw its component, which means that you need to resolve the components, and then you need to calculate. So when you resolve the components, so it means that this is y component and this is going to be your x component. So when you do the calculation, double check the angle first. The angle touch y axis, so your bs will be b sine theta. So now your angle is 53 degree and your magnitude is 8 meter, so it'll be 8.0 sine 53 degree. Okay, put it inside the calculator, make sure that you're in degree mode. Okay, then you're going to get sine 53 times 8, you're going to get 6.39. okay, 6.39 meter. Okay, make sure that you put negative here. Why? Because it's moving in the negative s direction, which is moving to the left. Okay, and then you do the same thing for the by, which is b cos theta, which is 8.0 cos 53 degree. Okay, so 8 cos 53 degree, you're going to get 4.81 meter, and then you need to put negative here. Why? Because it's moving in the downward, which is to the negative y directions. Okay, that's how you do it. Okay, so this one also the same thing. Okay, practically very easy also because only have one forces. Okay, so you just draw the component, which is going to be downward and to the right, and your angle touch y x axis, which means that your bs will be b cos theta. Okay, which means that it's going to be 6.2 cos 28 degree. So your answer going to be 5.47 meter positive. Y is moving to the positive x direction. Okay, and for the y component, by b sine theta, So B is 6.2 sine 28 degree. So you're going to get 2.91 meter. Okay, negative. Why? Is because it's moving downward. Okay, easy, right? Okay, good. Okay, so before we start with application questions, you need to understand that this is the vector sign that I mentioned before. You can actually choose right as a positive, left as a negative, but it doesn't compulsory to make the right as a positive and left is negative. You can change. Okay, you can actually put that right as a negative and y as a right as a negative, left as a positive. Okay, upward is a negative, downward is positive. It's up to you, but make sure that you choose the sign and then please make sure that you're consistent with the sign. Okay, please don't use, like, example question 1 you put positive as upward, and then question 2 you put positive as downward. You might get confused. Okay, please be consistent with the sign that you choose. Okay, other than sign convention, the things that you need to understand here is you need to know about the directions, which is east, north, west, and south. Okay, because I'm going to give you the questions based on situation, but you need to draw it first before you can start your calculations. Okay, so you can actually use news, which is an EWS. Okay, so example, if I give you north east without any angle, basically that's general knowledge where it's going to be 45 degree. Okay, yes. Okay, like this. So you can actually put 45 here, or you can put 45 here. Both are going to you are going to get the same answer. Okay, example, if I put 50 degree north to east. Okay, when it comes to north to east, it means that your angle basically touch the first one, which is north. Okay, so north to east means that this one. Okay, so you are going to get here is north to east, so means that 50 degree will be here. Okay, it's going to touch the first one. Okay, if I put 50 degree north of east of means that you are going to touch the second one, which is going to be this one. Okay, so double check first your drawing before you start calculations. One angle wrongly put, what happened is all the calculations will be wrong. Okay, so this is the things that I mentioned before. Okay, so this is example 5. Okay, the questions for the A, you can actually refer to the picture, this one. Okay, so find the horizontal and vertical components of the D displacement of a superhero who flies from the top of the tall building along the path shown in the figure below. So the question already gives you the magnitude. You need to find the component, which is x component and y component. Okay, so you resolve it into two components, which means that you are going to get here is, for your x component is going to be 1.0 power of 2 cos 30 degree. Okay, which your answer going to be 1.0 cos 30 degree at 1.0 power of 2 cos 30. So you're going to get 86.6 meter. Please do not forget the units. Okay, and for the y component, 1.0 times power of 2 sine 30 degree. So you're going to get 1.0 power of 2 sine 30. So you're going to get 50.0 meter. Okay, so you already get the answer for the horizontal and vertical components. Okay, so how about question B? Question B asks you about the different questions. Okay, they already give you the components, but the question asks you to find the magnitude and the directions. Okay, so for you to do this one is, you already had the components, so means that B, which is the resultant, the magnitude of B, always be positive because inside the modulus. So it's going to be bx square plus by square. Okay, so you are going to get, here is negative 25 square plus 10 square. So you are going to get, here is 25 square plus 10 square, square everything, then you're going to get 26.93 meter. Okay, so this is the magnitude. And how about the directions? Okay, you can use tangent theta because you already have the by and the bs. By over bs. Okay, so by is 10 meter, bs negative 25. Please do not put the negative inside your calculator, only put the numbers. Okay, so you're going to get 21.80 degree. Okay, and the last one going to be, yes, very good, you need to draw. Okay, so based on the information given to you, bs is negative, so which direction? Yes, it's going to be in these directions. And your by is positive, so it's going to be in this direction. Okay, so your final answer, your resultant will be here, will be here. Okay, please put the angle 21.80 degree with the magnitude. Okay, like that. Okay, got it? Okay, good. Okay, so I already show you how to find the answer at the back. So basically you can actually refer to this. Okay, so here I want to clarify something. You can actually get two angle, you can actually get 21.8, but you can actually give another answer which is 158. It's not compulsory. Okay, you can just only give one answer or you can give two answers. It depends. Okay, 158 is basically is because of the directions will be negative s and positive y, so it's going to be in this direction. So 21.8 is this one and 158 is this one. So you can give 21.8 or 158. It's not compulsory for you to put the negative here. Okay, okay, so this is another questions where you have two forces, and then like I mentioned before, you need to resolve the component. Okay, so I'm going to show you again the steps for you to recall everything back. So okay, so wait, I put it, make it smaller. Okay, so we are going to resolve each component to identify the directions. Okay, so it's going to be like this, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, once you're done with that, you can start to resolve the components, which means that for the f1 is going to be f1s, it will be 10 cos 10 cos 5 10 cos 25. Okay, sorry, 10 cos 25 degree. So you're going to get 9.06. Don't forget the newtons. Okay, and the double check is going to be in the positive direction. So f1y is 10 sine 25. So you're going to get 10 sine 25, 4.23 newton, 4.23 newtons. Okay, also positive because moving upward. And then f2s is 5. Okay, angle touch as this, so f cos 30 degree, so it become cos 30. So you're going to get 4.33. Okay, and then the s going to be negative because it's moving to the left. And then f2y is 5 sine 30. You're going to get 5 sine 30, 2.5, which is also negative because it's moving downward, 0.50 newton. Okay, once you're done with that, definitely you need to, yes, grouping s with x, y with y. Okay, so I find the resultant in x first. Okay, so resultant in x will be this one with this one. So 9.06 minus 4.33. Okay, 9.06 minus 4.33, we're going to get positive 4.73 Newton. Okay, and then do the same thing for the y component. Ry, which is this one and this one, 4.23 minus 2.50. Okay, 0.23 minus 2.50. You're going to get positive also 1.73 Newton. Okay, once you're done with that, yes, you need to find the magnitude. Okay, so for you to find the magnitude, make sure that it's always be positive. You find the hypotenuse. Okay, so you're going to be rx squared plus ry squared. Okay, so rs is so rs and ry you're going to get from here, okay, and from here. Okay, so it's going to be 4.73 square plus 1.73 square. Okay, so you are going to get 4.73 square plus with this 1.73 square, square root everything, supposedly you are going to get 5.04. Sorry. Okay, 5.04 Newton. Okay, so once you find the magnitude, definitely you need to find the, very good, you need to find the direction. Okay, so the direction is going to be, I'm using tangent theta, so ry over rs, so ry is 1.73 over 4.73 over 4.73. So the angle is 20.09 degree. Okay, so the last step will be what? Yes, definitely you need to draw. Okay, so when you draw, you are going to refer from the resultant in S and resultant in Y. So both you are going to get, so S you get positive. Okay, Y you also get positive. So means that your resultant definitely will be here. Okay, so put the angle there, which is 20.4 degree, and your magnitude is 5.04 Newton. Okay, so this is the complete steps. Make sure that you remember the steps, and then you can actually do for the questions that I already prepared in the slide. Okay, so this is the steps. Basically you are going to do the same thing, but the questions for the situation will be like I state, like 50 degrees south of east, something like that. Okay, so please do all the questions in the slide, and then we are going to discuss during class session. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me during our lecture session. Okay, so thank you very much, and assalamualaikum. Bye bye.